My name is Harrison Okene. I was a shipwreck survivor that spent 70 hours under the ocean. I'm from Delta State, Nigeria. I'm from Urobo by tribe, and I attended my primary school in Army Children's School, that's what we used to call it then. Then my secondary was Army Day Secondary School as well in Warri, Delta State. And I'm from a family of 15 in numbers. So we have 9 girls, 4 boys in the family. I grew up in Delta State as well with my family. I was very good to my mom because I like food and I like cooking a lot, so I'm one of her best. So that's when I learned a lot from her. And actually, after my secondary school, my dad always asked us to go to an hotel to learn catering, so to get a skill. So from there, I learned more about catering. So before I got into university, and when I was in university, after rounding up, there's no job, but I have no option than working with the skill I have in my hand. So I decided to join the catering firm. And I was in the catering firm. I worked for a while, and I decided to join the marine companies to work in the vessel as well. And in the year 2010, I joined the marine company. So I was working in the marine company for 2010, 2011, 2012. I was a cook on board the vessel as well. Then 2013, I was still in the vessel working when I had this shipwreck incident. Specifically, what took me down to the ocean to work on board the vessel as a cook. In the land, when I was working as a cook, we always have a lot of people that we cook for like 6,000 people at the same time, and a lot of stress involved, but the pay was small. So on the ocean, when working in the vessel with the crew you have on board, there are just 12 crew on board. So you're cooking for 12 people, and you get like times 5 of your pay. So I decided to go further, but before you have to go further, you have to do some certification. So I got the certification, I have more interest, and I got the job very easy. I will call it very easy because my uncle was an HR manager of the company, and I got there to meet him so I can get a job. But he told me he cannot employ me in his company, that I have to go. So I left. But when I was leaving the gate of the company, I told the security that, can you help me to submit my CV? He said, yes. I said, okay, 1 minute. And I hold the CV and I said to the CV, God, you said in my shame, you will give me double. I pray today this CV will bring me back to the same place. And I dropped the CV and I left. 2 weeks into I was employed. My uncle was on leave. Before he came back from leave, I was already in the company. And a good recommendation from the ocean, from my captain on board on the vessel, surprised him that I was one of the best cooks in the company. So he could not put me out again. So I was very good. I was in the company with him because he don't want me to work there, but he was surprised. There's something that is more than him that took me there. Actually, when I was growing up, my father was not really a Christian that much, because I can't say he's a Christian because he travels a lot and I have not seen him go to church before. But my mom is a Christian. She always go to church. I always go to church with her. Then as we were growing up, she made us understand the good, the bad, and the ugly in life. So I always choose the good, because if I choose the bad, I believe with the environment and where I was staying, where I grew up from, I don't supposed to be alive today because it's a very rough zone. And today I can tell you that most of my friends that we grew up together, they are no longer alive. But I choose the right path, because if I don't choose the right path, when I was growing up, I used to help my mom to sell pumpkin leaves. I go to the market, the night market, to help her sell. And even there was a day I was coming back from the night market. In my street, there was an attack, a robbery going on in my street. And the night guide, they were shooting at the robbers, and the robbers were shooting at the night guide in a particular street. And I was going back home. I was at the middle of the street. So I was having a basket on my head. I was having a lantern on my hand. And this night guide were shooting at these robbers, and the robbers were releasing backfire at the night guide. So they were thinking I was the one that is the robber. So they were shooting at me. But I was just standing. I was scared. But I only see fire coming from left and right. But I was just standing on my own, not knowing that they are aiming at me, thinking I'm the robber. But I was just standing, and nothing touched me. And when the fire got stopped, I was moving back home. And as I was going home, the night guy started running When I got to my street junction, I have to divert to my street. As I was going, they called me. Who are you? Who are you? I said, my name is Harrison. I'm staying number 4 here. This is my father that owns the street. They said, Jesus Christ, you are very lucky. We are aiming at you thinking you are the robber. And I was saying, I'm not the robber, I'm going home. So I went home. When I went home, I started telling my mom the story. And when my mom saw me, my mom kneeled down and said, God, I only sent him to the market to do a business for me, not for him to go and die, that nobody will give me a bad name. So she was happy, thanking her God for keeping me alive. So a lot I've seen, a lot I've experienced when I was growing up. So since then, I started believing in God more and more, and I'm believing that I have him beside me at all times. So when I have any challenge, when I was growing up, I always look at him and call upon him. Actually, when I was walking on board the vessel, I was posted to a particular vessel in Port Harcourt. And the vessel is on dry dock. So I was there walking for 2 weeks, and I was cross-posted to this other vessel. And when I was cross-posted there, I was walking and I did my job for the first week, second week. I was to go on time off. And when I was supposed to go on time off, my reliever said, he's not feeling fine, that he can't come, that I should work for him for more 1 week. So I said, okay, no problem. So I polished my shoe, got my bag ready. And on May 26, 2013, the morning, we were doing a mooring operation. So we were not expecting anything. We all did our routine for the day and went to sleep. So 4 o'clock in the morning, what I normally do is that I always read my book, my Bible, Psalm 54, then I pray, then I go back to my galley and start preparing. So actually that same day, I read my psalm and I went to the galley. I put on the hot plates, then I went to the toilet. I saw 4 other guys brushing their teeth there. I said, okay, let me just go to the toilet. When I'm done, then I will paste. So when I was in the toilet, then I saw a wave on the vessel. So I feel normal. The boat always stumble, is the ocean. That's how we normally row all the time. And suddenly, I heard a voice saying, which is the bosun saying, the vessel is about to capsize, the vessel is about to capsize. I didn't say anything because he's fond of that. And the next thing I saw was the vessel that went upside down, which is the WC that I was sitting on was up, then I was down, and the WC fell on my head and broke my head, and everywhere went dark. So then my mind now reflected back to when I was in Port Harcourt on that vessel, because when I was there was a day, I have a dream. And on the dream, I was in the vessel and the vessel capsized. And when the vessel capsized, I didn't hear any voice, people died, but I was stuck in a particular place in the vessel. So, and one thing I always do when I dream, if I don't pray about it, it comes to pass. When I pray about it, it stops. And I just think maybe it won't happen. I just overlooked it. And the whole thing came into my mind that, that is the dream you dream, that you're going to die like this. So I tried to open the door and I came out from the toilet. And the only thing I could see is the reflection of one's phone. So I followed the direction. So I know where the other guys is. And when I got there, they were in the alleyway. They were trying to open the watertight door. So I joined them at the back to try to open the watertight door before the water came from down of the vessel and submerged us up in that same spot. And we were still struggling with the door. So I decided to swim back inside so I can catch my breath. So when I was swimming inside, the force of the water coming into the vessel pushed me to the second engineer's cabin. And when I got to the second engineer's cabin, the door got closed. And I was there for a while until the whole vessel got to the seabed, the anchors were dropping, people were shouting, hearing different sounds from different directions, and I was still there. So I tried to open the watertight door, it was locked, so I got to the vents. I have to break the iron in the vents, then I have to open the door myself, and the door got open. And I was still there, hearing shout, 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 shout. And I was still there, just trying to see how I can be able to go out from the vessel. So I was there when all the voices start going off, one after the other. And I saw the life jacket floating and the solar light on top of the life jacket. So I got 2. I put one in my boxers. I have to put one in my mouth. Then I have to swim down to the watertight door, trying to see if I can get the door open. When I got to the water tidal, it was locked and the place is dark. With the solar light, I can't see properly. So I was out of breath, so I have to swim back to where I can catch my breath. As I was going back, I almost missed my way. So when I got there, I decided to look for coveralls. So I got the coveralls and I made the rope out of them, and I got the water dispenser down there. So I have to put the rope, the coverall on the water dispenser. So if I'm swimming, if I got tired, maybe I'm about to catch my breath, not to miss my way, I have to come through the coveralls back to that same spot so I can catch my breath. So that was what I was doing for more than 10 times. And until I got tired and the place was so cold for me. So I went back to where I can sit and catch my breath. And there's no way I can sit because if I'm standing, the water is above me. So I have to use my hands to get the fibers off the body of the vessel. Then I have to put them down. I got the wardrobe and put on that. So I sat on them. And when I sat on them, my legs were in the water. But the crayfish were coming from the water and they were eating my legs. And I have no choice. What I have to do at that moment in time is to worship, pray. I started reminding God that I prayed to get a marine job. And the marine job came through His favor, not through man. And He promised that He can never give me a job that will take my life. He always give me a job that will give me peace. And this is not the job, this is not the kind of task He has for me. And I will not die like this. This is not my time. So I start praying. And I still also telling Him that if I die like this, I just fear for my wife because I feel I'm the best person to take care of her. That if I'm not there, I just imagine how the people of the world is going to treat her. So I start reminding Him a lot of things. And He said, a man that find a wife find a good thing, obtain favor from the Lord. And I have not gotten any favor. I was just reminding Him because I know He has a lot for me that He has not delivered to me. So I start reminding Him, praying. And time was going because I never knew. I was thinking the whole incident was a day, but I never knew it was getting to 3 days. So I was still there, still praying. But I was losing my strength at the same time. When I'm getting tired, I have to pour the cold water on my chest and strain back my strength. So I was there like that until I was hungry. I have to look up and I saw a bag. And I went to the bag, I opened the bag, I saw sardine, I saw Coca-Cola. So just one pixie. So I have to open the sardine and put a little in my mouth because from my tongue down to my throat, I speed because of the salt water. So I was just sipping the Coke small and put a little sardine on my mouth. Until it got finished, I left it aside. The life jacket I saw around there has mixed with diesel and he has compressed, cannot float on his own. So the solar light went off. I couldn't see anything. The whole place was dark, like nothing. If someone can even pass me 10 times, I will not recognize that somebody's passing by. So I was just there like that until I heard a sound, like someone dropping the water, because in that spot that I was, I'm hearing every sound on the surface of the water. Every vessel that passes by, anything that's stuck in the water, I hear the sound. Because the depth I was at that moment in time was 33 meters in the ocean. So I was hearing every sound that was going on. So until the moment, I think a diver came to put a marker buoy on the spot. So that was a sound I heard. So after some time, I was expecting that I would see someone around and I could see anyone. So I just keep calm and still praying. When I prayed to an extent, I couldn't pray anymore. I started worshiping God because I know He's the only person that can take me out of that situation, because if He's not the one, I think He's dead. But I tried to an extent and I said, God, if it's your will for me to die today, let the death come as it is, because on my own strength, I can't do anything on my own. Actually, when I was there, at the early beginning, I was panicking. I was so afraid. But it got to a stage, I was no longer afraid. And I was hearing my colleagues shouting one after the other. To an extent, I couldn't hear their voice anymore. I was thinking maybe they've all escaped. I'm the only person trapped in there. So, but when I was trying to go down to the water tidal, I always feel some obstruction on the way. And when I was seeing this obstruction, I started feeling humans. So I touched them. They were some of my colleagues, and they've already getting swelled. So I always go under them and I get to the water tidal, try to see how I can get out of the vessel. So that's when I knew that some of them have died, but I never knew it was all of them that have died. I'm the only survivor still there. So, but I was still struggling to see how I can go out. So after I've been there for a while, keep praying, singing praise and worship, I heard a sound of someone jumped in the water. So I was expecting or thinking maybe it's somebody, but I stayed for a while. I couldn't see anyone. Then the next thing I saw was a flashlight I saw that went beside. So I just went down straight in the water, started looking for the flashlight. So I couldn't see the flashlight. I came back again and sit down in that same spot. After some time, I saw the water bubbling. So I saw this bubble coming out from the water at the water tidal. So I was observing. And as I was observing, I saw the bubbling also coming out with a reflection of a light. So I was also observing. I want to see what is that. So it got to a stage, I saw it was a diver. So I saw the helmet. It got to the water tidal, and I was thinking it's going to come towards my direction. And I looked very well. It was going towards the other side. So I have to swim down and go along with him. So when I got to where he is, I have to tap him at the umbilical, so at the helmet on his head. So when I tapped him, he was running. When he was running, I just have to follow him behind him. So when he got to the end, he turned. When he turned, I was waving my left hand for him. So when he saw me, he has to stretch his hand across to me. So I gave him my hands and he held my finger. And I have to tell him he has to come with me this way so I can be able to catch my breath because I'm not breathing. So he has to follow me. So I got to the room and I got inside the second engineer's cabin. And he said I should go back and sit. So I went back and I sit. He was just at the water tidal. So he was asking me on the terms of signal because he's putting on an helmet. I can't hear him when he's talking. So he was asking, are you the only one there? I said, yes. So he said, are you the only one there? Are you sure? I said, yes. So he said, okay, he's coming. So he went down to bring water for me. So he gave me the water. He asked me to drink the water. So I drank little of it because I'm tasty, but I'm not interested in the water. I'm just only interested in how to go out from the vessel, not interested in anything. So he said I must finish the water because he said you have to finish the water. So I just have to finish the water and I dropped the can. So he was still looking at me. So the next thing I saw, he was flushing his heart so I can have oxygen in the place because the oxygen in the place is gone. So I'm struggling. So I have to breathe with my mouth. When I breathe with my mouth, I have to pour the cold water on my chest to get me calm, and I have to manage myself again. So suddenly he said, I should wait that he's coming again. So I was not like, where is this guy going to? Inside of me, I was like, where is this guy going to? So I just feel inside of me again that I don't know how this guy came into this place. All I do is just giving thanks, thanking God, crying, because he never knew why I was crying, why I was just on my own, being busy. But I was just like, God, in this same place I was, I've been praying and you heard my prayer and you sent rescue for me. That means now I know that in those days we used to hear that they say God is in heaven, but now I know he's living around us. He's moving with us at every moment in time. So he went back, and when he came back, they brought a vest for me, strap jackets. Then he asked me to put it on. But I couldn't stand very well because I've been in the water for 3 days and my legs are swollen. The water has entered inside of me. My tummy is big. My body is getting swollen, and the crayfish has eaten part of my body, a lot of bruise inside of me, so I couldn't stand very well. So he asked to assist me to put them on. So he told me he's coming again, and he went down. When he went down again, he brought an helmet for me. From the moment he came with the helmet, he now said, okay, I have to put it on. So I put on the helmet, and I got a very sheet hair coming out of it. So I had a communication from inside, and the person was talking to me. He said, it's Kobe. That can I hear him? I said, yes. He said, am I okay? I said, yes. He said, are you comfortable in the hat? I said, yes. Can you breathe very well? I said, yes. So I have to wear the hat. And he was telling me the name of the diver that is beside me and how am I going to go along with him out of the vessel. So at that moment, I never knew that I was still the only survivor. So until I got to the water tidal to go out from the vessel with the diver. And when we're about to go out, he said, that's a green rope. You have to go with the green rope. I have to swim along the green rope. And I was out of strength. I cannot even swim. I don't know. I did not even understand the terminology in diving. What was the green rope all about? Where is it secure to? I don't know. So I just freed myself. When I freed myself, I was just floating in the water. So the next thing, he was talking to me. I just kept silent. And the diver said he has passed out. So he asked the diver to come and pull me to the bell. So the diver came and grabbed me and pulled me to the bell. And the supervisor asked, "Are you okay, Harrison?" I said, "Yes, I'm fine." So he just scared me. But I didn't say anything to him because I know I did that so they can pull me faster to that place, because if on my own, I don't think I can swim down there. But there's no strength. So when I got there, when we got in the bell, that's when the diver told me. When he looked at me, he said, "Harrison, is it you?" I said, "Yes," because I have been cooking in the diving vessel. So those divers have cooked for them. So I knows him, but he never knew I was the one. But maybe when he wore the hat, he see me, he knows me, but there's no way he can communicate with me. So he told me, "Do you know so person that is putting on bango?" I said, "Yes." I called his name. He's Richard Kuyoma. He said, "Do you know so person?" I said, "Yes." He was just mentioning them. I was like, "Where are they?" He said, "Do you know you are the survivor?" I said, "No." He said, "They are all dead. You are the only survivor." And the wife gave birth to a boy. But he never got home to see the wife. He died. He never even see the son. There's another one that has a wife, and he has been in a marriage for 25 years, adopted a girl, and the girl has become a big girl. She has married, she has her own children, but this same man has not given birth. The wife just gave birth to twins, and he's planning to go on time off with me to see the wife. He never saw the wife. So when I started thinking of the pain, and I'm like a mother to them on board the vessel. They all come to me, tell me their pains, their issues at home. I do help them to like encourage them in one way or the other to tell them, "You have to take it easy in life. This is how it should go. This I should go. This I should go." So I know I'm part of them. So I started feeling sorry for them, start crying for them, and just imagine how their family is going to feel. So the guy never knew what I was passing through. So I was just crying. He was like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I'm just thanking God for keeping me alive, but I was also feeling pain for the other guys that lose their life." Until they took me down to the chamber. And I got to the chamber, and they were saying they should check on my vital signs and to know if I'm okay, if I don't have any issues. So they did the vital signs. I was perfectly okay. They asked me if I can pull. I said, "Yes, I can pull." I pulled very well. They said, "If can we?" I did very well. And they were contemplating that this guy is not normal, because a normal person cannot be normal like this, because there's supposed to be a complication in me, but they did everything. I was perfectly okay. Memory-wise, they were asking me questions. What's the name of your wife? Who do you know? This is that. They were asking me, mention the name, the phone number. I was just calling everything, and they were surprised. And I stayed in there on the chamber with them for 3 days, still observing me until I came out and I was taken back home. And the moment I got home, there was a lot of crowd waiting for me. So I was taken to the International SOS Medical Center. When I got there, they were telling me I'm going to spend some time there. So I told them, "No, I'm going back home. I have to see my family." So I have to call my elder brother. He comes around and picks me from there to the house. And when I got to the house, I saw my wife and I started crying. And when she saw me, she started rolling on the ground, giving praise to God that she never got married and lose her husband. That she thanked God that she's alive and she has her husband beside her. That she's owing God a lot for keeping me alive and keeping me safe, strong, and healthy. So we're very happy celebrating that night, because my mom, everybody came, and we were very, very happy. But from that day, I started having trauma, because anytime I'm in the house, when I'm in the room at night, I feel the whole house is sinking. So I would just grab my wife in the shoulder and try to run out of the house. Several times I've been doing that for like 2 weeks, until I called the company attention, and they sent a medical expert across to me to check if I'm okay, if everything is okay with me. And she said I have to change environment to see how I can regain myself. And they did, actually. And after some time, I was fine. And I came back home, and they said I have to get busy so I can get my mind off everything that happened. So I have to resume work. So they decided I should come back to the office and work in the office and land. So I went back to the office. I started working. I accepted it, and when I was supposed to resume, that was fourth week of January 2014, I moved to Port Harcourt. After the incident, I went back to water because I was in Gambia, and all the hotels in Gambia is built on the beach side. So from your room, you are seeing the beach. You can even walk down to the beach. So I went back I walked to the beach. I started swimming. I got in the beach, just got in the water, swim down far, came back. So even my wife was there. She was so scared. She was like, are you not afraid? I said, no, this is the water. I know the water very well. I don't struggle with water, so I understand the water very well. So I did that. I swim, came back again. There's a pool in the hotel. I swim again in the pool. So I did this thing for 2 weeks. So I built my courage on myself. I'm not scared of the water, but you know, being an accident, there's an incident, you being in a particular vessel or in a particular something that you just have an accident and the thing sank and nowhere to go out from that place is my fear. If not, if it's an ocean, I will tell you, I can stay in the water, top of the water like this for 3-4 days. I will never sink. I will never move my hands. I will never move my leg, because it's something I've been doing for a very long time and I practice it. So I like swimming. So when I got to that Gambia, I have to swim again and see the force in the water. I did it. And when I came back to town, to me, I just decided inside of me that I have to go for this diving, but I just need to gather up myself and go for it. So my family actually refused, because my other brother went online and saw the training. He said, this one wants to die now, that I cannot go for this training. But I never said it to him because that's his own opinion, because when something happens, they tell you, don't go back to the sea again, don't go back to the sea again. We'll take care of your bees, we'll do this, we'll do that for you. But when you try that, you're going to experience something in life. So I never wanted to listen to them. So on my own, I took everything silently and I left the country and I went for the course. It was June 2015 that I took that course. And the owner of the school happened to be the senior instructor. He was scared to train me because himself that did not even go through the accident, he was having a phobia. He was even scared of me. So he instructed a young instructor, and he's a girl, to train me. Her name is Lara. So she was with me, and they put me in the tank to see how courageous I'm going to be. And I was there. I did well. And after 2 days, he took me back to the ocean again to go and swim. And I was in the ocean at the same time I was swimming. And he now built confidence in me that I can do the training. And I started doing the training, and a lot of crowd, people was around watching me, making videos and everything. So we did the training for 2 months. Then I went back to Nigeria. Then I have to come back again. In 2018, I came back again and I did the course again. And I got to 50 meters depth. And I was the first person that got to 50-meter depth among all of us that was doing the training. And the guy was like, this guy is determined to do it in life. So after that, I came back. And after I came back, 3 days interval, I got a job in the offshore to go back to the ocean again. So when I got to the ocean, started diving, going down the seabed to do the job, installation and everything. I was feeling more comfortable because being in the ocean alone, the wind, the silentness of the environment keeps me happy. So I just like it, I enjoy it. I have serious feeling inside of me that every week, if I'm not in the sea, I should be in the pool. So I started doing the job, and I'm enjoying the job right now. To me, I think it was a day I was asked to dive 2 o'clock in the midnight, and there was shark roaming around the vessel, which I'm seeing live in direct. And they said, you are diving now. And if I said I'm not diving, I have to be booked immediately away from that place. So I told them, no problem, get in my gears. I have to kill the fear inside of me. But there's something I like doing in my life, because I've seen and I've understand that fear stops a lot of people to get into a particular level of life they want to get to, and to even acquire so many things in their life. But when they just grab that fear inside of them, everything dies. So when I was going down, the shark came and hit the basket, boom, boom. but I was still going down. And the front, actually, he can actually approach me, but it hit the side, and I was still going down because it was 33 meters depth of that same place. Because I happened to be diving in that same place that my vessel went down, that I have the shipwreck, and that was the same place I was diving. So I had that attack that day, but I still went down. I got the job done, and I came back successfully. So because in the training, they will tell you, you don't need to panic. You don't need to be afraid. If you see the shark, eyeball to eyeball, don't lose the shark. So I was so courageous. I went there, I did the job. So to me, I believe I like the ocean, is my world. I just like diving. I like water. I like swimming. So I'm enjoying the profession right now. Air pockets that they were talking about is if you have a bottle and you put the bottle filled with water and you capsize it, you still see a small bubble inside. That's the air pocket they're talking about. But I will tell you this story in 1,000 ways, but I will tell you that it's God that kept me alive. Because even the air pocket, the air that I have inside, is not even enough for me to breathe. It's not even enough. I know how long I struggled to have breath. But I just knew very well that the way I kept calm, the way things were just like putting in order, the way I was thinking, planning my things, doing my things, it is not even training. The ideas, everything was just from God. I just have to manage the whole situation. But it's just God, because if it's some people, they will even try to go out anyhow and they will end up in the water. But for me to take a decision and go back there and wait, and even think of making a rope out of a cover to get my direction, I think it's not my strength, it's God. Because I believe thousands questions will always come on that air pocket, but I will tell you, it's not the air pocket that kept me alive. On the final word, I will say, we are all humans and we work for people. And we have the spirit of fear of the unknown inside of us, to do things, to say things. That spirit should be taken away from us, because you will not be killed, you will not be beaten. Because when I said that the accident happened out of human error, it's because instead of our chief mate to tell us, hit the emergency alarm, that there is danger, everybody should rush out with their life jacket, he was scared that he's going to lose his job, he will be fired, and he was struggling with the situation, and that leads to people's life. But if he could say, there is danger, everybody will run out, today they would have been alive. So one thing I will say is this: the spirit of fear of the unknown, take it out of you. Be brave enough to say things when you need to say them. Don't be scared. You will never be killed. You will never be beaten. Highest is go home and you can look for a job elsewhere. But as far as you have your life, you are good to go.
Hello, everyone. as your Lord and Savior, what are you waiting for? I wanted to invite you today to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. And it's very simple to do that. All you have to do is repeat this prayer after me. Say, Father, I come to you today. I ask that you forgive me for all my sins. I believe that Jesus died and rose again. I accept him today as my Lord and Savior. Hallelujah. If you've said that prayer, welcome to the family of God. We would love to hear from you. Send us an email and we will get in touch with you. God bless you and hear from you soon.